David Crowley here. Welcome to our front porch, which is oftentimes for me a place to work on stuff. It's also a collection point where things that I find and I bring in and I sit down that I want to play with and experiment with, like this old shelf fungus that I found growing on a fallen tree down in the bottom, a couple hundred yards from where we're sitting. Uh, I've got all kind of goodies out here that I play with from time to time. Here, oh, excuse that shiny shot on the top of my head, but been out here doing a little work on a bow, whittling, having a good time. I started this bow out of privet hedge a couple of days ago. I saw the hedge growing down in the bottom, and I thought, well, let's see what I can do with that. And the principle behind making this one was to do it with only items that I normally carry in my kit. In the event I find myself in one of those situations where sustaining myself is absolutely necessary. And one of the things that I have to do with this particular bow is I have to bring it down to a draw weight that my bad shoulder will tolerate. And I have a long bow that I bought that's a 35-pound bow, and I seem to be able to handle it fairly well. And so that's kind of the range that I'm shooting for in doing it, is 35, 40-pound draw weight. And not only would that be more than sufficient to hunt rabbits with or to play with in the yard, target shoot, but it would also be sufficient with a well-placed arrow to bring a deer down. And so that's kind of the area that I'm aiming for. I was kind of curious about how this wood would behave. I've made many walking sticks out of privet hedge, and peeling them off, peeling the bark off, and then just letting them sit. Inevitably, every one of them checked. So what I've done differently with this is before I started doing anything with it, I painted the ends before I ever started whittling, and using only items that I normally carry in my kit. And what I'm doing, I am basically whittling this with the knife that I got from Travis Neal. And I've got to tell you, the more that I work with this knife, the more that I like it. A lot of people, the first thing they do when they get a knife is they get it on a big old block of wood, and they take a billet of wood and they start pounding the heck out of it to see if they can use it to split wood with. And me, the first thing I did with it, I started carving on some deer steaks, things that I normally use a knife for. And yes, it will make kindling. It'll make some really fine lightered kindling, something like that. I have used it for that, but I wouldn't want to use any knife unless it came with a specific guarantee, money back guarantee. I'm not going to go pounding a knife through a block of wood that calls for an axe to do that sort of job. And that's just my personal taste. People can do with their knives what they want to do with their knives, but I personally believe that tools have specific uses that they're designed for, and I prefer to stay within that realm. So far, so good with the checking business. I've got this thing down to it's I don't know what the draw weight would be, but it's more than I care to have to draw. I need to work on this side more, this one a little more, not from this point, but from down here, so thin that out, just judging by the way it's wanting to bend. And I'm getting close. I'm getting in the ballpark. I'm pretty happy with the way this is turning out, especially with the fact that it didn't check on me. Wood will check because without the ends sealed, more moisture is traveling out the end, and that wood is under a tremendous amount of stress. And it's like concrete. As concrete shrinks, concrete cracks because it shrinks, and the pressure, the internal pressure that's working on it. And so far, this piece of wood has held up really well. And another few hours of whittling and getting it down where I want it to be, we'll go from there. I've also got some arrow shafts that I cut out of privet. I've got some others over there in the corner drying, lashed to a broom handle from cypress growing here in the yard, that I'm going to play with and experiment with a little bit. But the ones that I'm going to use for this one first will be the like wood, a privet wood. It's a hard, dense wood. I think it'll be it's pretty tough, and I'm looking forward to getting it down to a point where I can tie a string on here and launch an arrow that I've made out of material that's common in the woods and the swamps and the bottoms that we have around here. I want to encourage you to study something that you're unfamiliar with, and watch some videos. YouTube is a great place to look for stuff, but don't stop there. Study something that you're interested in, woodcraft related, bushcraft related, and just do it. I have never made a bow before, and not only is it fun, and it has some challenges to it, and especially working with a sharp blade and discovering the nuances in the wood, and how one side of the stave you can be cutting along and everything is fine, but when you try to work that same direction on the other side, it has a tendency to want to split out, and you have to work backwards on the other side. So there's a lot of things like that that are part of the learning curve, that if you find yourself in a genuine survival situation where you have to do this, having done it a time or two, sitting on the porch, making some really good kindling for getting the fire going, having done it a time or two, it's not something foreign to you. You've already worked through some of the issues that you're going to inevitably run into, and since you have that frame of reference embedded in your mind, then you're able, in a stressful situation, to do what you've got to do effectively in order to ensure your safety, in order to increase your potential for being able to survive a difficult, stressful situation. David Crolick here from Woodsmoke Woodcraft School. Got some exciting things coming up. We've got a class Saturday the 2nd with our group that we're mentoring, and we're beginning a new round of classes with some entirely different people on the second weekend of May. And I'm looking forward to documenting that and getting to know a new group of folks, and one of them we already know, but that's going to be an exciting journey as well, and that's coming up this coming month, the second weekend of May, and that too will be a monthly class. There's 6 classes, 6 workshops that essentially cover all the ground that we would normally cover in a long weekend setting, where folks pack in and bring their gear, and we set up and we do a basic skills class that would run from Friday through Sunday. So look forward to updating you as to what's going on, and updating you on the process of whittling a bow. And until then, keep your cutting tools sharp, keep your fire bag dry, and keep whittling on some sticks.